brings a question. So basically, you said, hey, this is available and we want to do this. And they kind of came back with that's not the way we've always done it, right? But we've always done it this way. So, what are some of your strategies on changing mindset and breaking down barriers without being a bulldozer?
I talk about this a lot with families, very consistently, that um, nobody went into this wanting to be a jerk. Everybody comes into this because of their own passion play, and then the
Sure.
system beats you down. And so it's really important to step back and remember that, because that person on the other side that's giving you kind of rhetoric, whether it be academic or government or systems rhetoric, that is a reflection of the system they're in, not the person they are. And
Mm,
so if you if you're willing to step back and be curious to try to understand like how they got there, and and show sincere empathy for what they're struggling with, and by way of the restrictions they have,
mhm,
oftentimes, and if you just don't go away,
mhm.
I never go away, which is maybe good or bad. People, eventually they are appreciative that somebody understands how tough it is on their side of the table. And that's part of mine and Shelly's mission, is we want everybody on the same side of the table. The system can be on the other side of the table, but the humans are all on the same side, and we're all fighting the same barriers.
I like that.
It just takes a while to make sure you're shifting that mindset, and that really comes through education. So
Mhm.
if we are educating our our community, and the community can be parents, caregivers, self-advocates, partners, academics, government representatives. The more education, the more people are willing, in my view, the more willing people are to put themselves in the other person's shoes. And then I think that's where you start thinking more creatively. Um, so, Brenda, I completely agree. Bulldozing does not work. It's not sustainable. Um, but really persistency,
Mhm.
and trying to understand that other person's point of view, and trying to find a value add for both. You know,
Right.
um, that's nobody's going to spend their time unless they can see a value for themselves. So yeah, that's what I would say.
Well, and from the school point of view, I think it helps, like when Tara says having partners. I reach out to a lot of my colleagues in schools, because if there is a plan, if we're not limiting students while they're in school, if we're thinking big picture and we're thinking person-centered and we're thinking about big goals, that really helps families to feel empowered, students to feel empowered, and the school districts to have a pattern and a history of this student wants more academics, like this student is hungry for more school, right? So then when they're presented with the transition program, there's already kind of this foundation set of, you almost would be denying them their plan or their dreams if you say no to school. So, keeping this person centered, keeping this holistic, let's figure out a way to honor what this student wants
Mhm.
and see how far they can go, right? So it really does, it really, really helps to have that really nice partnership with your in-school people and let them know that, like, you're not opposed to hearing no's. Like some things are no's, but they're really few and far between. Like they're not really as much as we typically hear. They're much more flexible and malleable. And if you have a partner in the schools, or we can educate the teachers and the counselors and the staff to be like, let's turn that no into a maybe, or a let's see, so that we're not limiting them from the
Mhm.
very beginning. That helps a lot too.